Okay, quiet on the set. Thank you. Hello everybody, it's Graeme here from Frontenac Cycle again with another video. Today we're going to talk about squeaky brakes and how to get rid of them. First we're going to start with rim brakes and then move to disc brakes, but a lot of the principles apply for both. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start with rim brakes here, and two things to remember when trying to get rid of a squeak. Two things that are important is making sure that everything is clean and making sure that everything is tight. So that includes the wheel onto the fork, the brakes onto the fork, and the pads onto the brake arm. So why don't you come in a little closer with the camera and I can give you a close-up of what we're doing. Since we know that noise is just vibration, we want to get rid of as much vibration as possible. There's a few different points where that's going to be caused, so we'll start with the attaching of the wheel to the fork. Making sure that the quick release is tightened properly, nice and firmly on there, will avoid any vibration and wiggling in the wheel. And moving up from there, we want to make sure that the brake arm is tightly against the fork. So we'll just check that with our Allen key, nice and tight. And lastly, on a rim brake system, we want to make sure that the pad itself is tightly attached to the brake arm. So again, just giving that a check with our Allen key, nice and tight. So once everything is tight like that, that gives us the most chance of having things not vibrate. The next part of avoiding a squeaky brake is making sure that things are clean. We're going to clean the rim and the pads. We're going to use isopropyl alcohol because it doesn't leave a residue on the rim, and a nice clean rag. And we're going to just rub around the entire rim until everything is clean. This is a brand new wheel, but same things apply for a dirty one. You just scrub it clean, making sure that you can kind of have a nice shiny finish. For the brake pads, as you brake in regular use in real life, the brake pads will start to develop a bit of a hardness and a sheen. And what you want to do is you want to take a light file or rasp, and without making sure you don't scratch the paint up, you want to just gently remove that hardness and that sheen from the pad. So you've cleaned the rim, you've cleaned the pads, you've made sure that everything on the system is tight. Take it out for a test ride and you're still getting squeaking. There is a solution for that, and that is towing the brake pads. All right, so on the brake pad, you have 4 different washers, and they're beveled or elbow washers, which means that they fit into each other like a little cone and cup. And what that's going to allow is for us to angle the pad while the pad is attached to the brake arm. When we're setting up the pads, ideally you would want them hitting as flush as possible, like so. But if you have a stubborn brake that's giving you a lot of squeaking, what you can do is you can toe the front of the pad in a little bit. This is a bit exaggerated, but toe the front in so that it hits first, followed by the back laying in behind it. So we've loosened our pad and we're lining it up on the rim so that it's not too high and not too low. And then some people will put a dime or a little thin piece of metal on the back side and then squeeze the brake so that it's tight, and then tighten it. An experienced mechanic such as myself can just do it with their hands, as I'm sure you would be able to as well. Just towing the front in so that it hits first, and tightening the pad down. All right, so moving on to disc brakes, a lot of the same principles apply, making sure that things are clean, making sure that things are tight, same for disc brakes. We'll go into a few details on what makes a disc brake different. All right, so cleaning the disc brake pad is similar process to the rim brake pad. What we want to do is get a good grit sandpaper. We actually use a belt sander and we cut it up. Then we're going to take the pad and just do a little circular back and forth kind of all around motion like so. Maybe a little bit more than that actually. And we're going to get that top layer of grit off. We always follow that up with an air compressor, blowing it dry, or again, if you had like a clean rag, that would do the same thing. So same as the rim, if you're cleaning the rotor, it's best to use something like an isopropyl alcohol, get as high a percentage as possible. That helps to avoid leaving a film, a greasy film that could affect the brakes further. A nice clean rag, and you're just gonna, again, give it as good a cleaning as you possibly can all the way around, trying to get all the contaminant off, because any contaminant on there is gonna affect the performance and the noise. And this is just a reminder that you don't actually have to take the rotor all the way off the wheel. We just happen to have one already off to show you. You do need to take the pads out of the caliper though. Thanks for checking out the video today. We hope that you learned how to fix a squeaky brake, whether it's disc or rim. And remember, don't stress out too much if you experience squeaking in the middle of a wet or dirty ride. It's gonna happen. Just fix it when you get home. And as always, we appreciate a like and subscribe. It really helps us reach a wider audience. Thanks again.
You did it!